Alright, imagine this. A row of SUVs in the shop, hoods popped open, engines torn apart, but tucked away in the mechanic's own driveway? A luxury SUV so dependable, they almost never touch it. These aren't just cars, they're secret weapons, chosen by the very people who know every hidden weakness under the hood. And here's the twist. Some of these unbreakable SUVs aren't the brands you'd expect. Acura MDX, first generations, up to 2013. The Acura MDX is one of those SUVs that mechanics quietly respect but never brag about. It's not the flashy choice you'll see in music videos or sitting in celebrity garages, and maybe that's why it's still a hidden gem. Under the radar, this three-row luxury SUV has built a reputation for crossing the 200, even 300,000 mile mark without begging for mercy. It's understated luxury, the kind you buy once and drive for years while your neighbors keep trading in their unreliable toys. At the heart of the MDX is Honda's legendary 3.5-liter V6, the same DNA you'll find in the Odyssey and Pilot, which mechanics call nearly indestructible when properly maintained. The weak link in early models was the 5-speed automatic transmission. Skip fluid changes, and it can turn into a headache. But if it's been serviced on schedule, it shifts smooth and lasts. Suspension wear is common, especially in SUVs that haul boats or trailers, but compared to European rivals, repairs are a fraction of the cost. Performance is steady rather than thrilling, with around 260 horsepower backed by Acura's super handling all-wheel drive, one of the most confidence-inspiring systems in bad weather. Fuel economy lands in the high teens combined, not great by modern standards, but solid for its size back then. Inside, the MDX aged, gracefully leather, wood trim, premium audio, and enough tech to feel upscale without overloading the driver with fragile electronics. Navigation screens look dated today, but core features like Bluetooth and climate control still make daily driving easy. The sweet spot sits between model years 2007 and 2013. These strike the perfect balance of reliability and modern styling. On today's used market, you'll find clean examples between $7,000 and $12,000, which is remarkable for a luxury SUV that many mechanics quietly keep in their own driveway. And the next one on the list? Let's just say it's another mechanic's favorite, an SUV that looks ordinary on the outside but hides one of the most trustworthy luxury drivetrains ever built. Infiniti FX35, 2003 to 2012. This one doesn't get nearly the love it deserves. The Infiniti FX35 is a mechanic's secret weapon, an SUV that looks more like a sports car in disguise, but with the bones of a reliable workhorse. When it first hit the market, people didn't quite know what to make of it. It wasn't boxy and practical like other SUVs, and it wasn't flashy in the European sense. But for the people who bought them, they discovered a luxury crossover that could take a beating, pile on miles, and still feel special every time you turn the key. Under the hood lives Nissan's legendary VQ series 3.5-liter V6, one of the most celebrated engines the company ever built. It's the same family of engines used in everything from the 350Z to the Maxima, and mechanics swear by its durability. Routine oil changes and cooling system checks are key, but if those boxes are ticked, this motor can stretch way past 200,000 miles without complaint. The 5-speed automatic is another story. It's not indestructible, but it's far less fragile than the complicated gearboxes found in many luxury competitors. Keep the fluid fresh, and it will keep shifting smoothly for years. On the road, the FX35 is nothing like your typical luxury SUV. It feels firm, planted, and even a little aggressive, almost like it wants to be tossed into corners. That sporty setup means a stiffer ride compared to something like a Lexus RX. But drivers who like engagement over floatiness usually fall in love. Horsepower sits in the 280 range, with rear-wheel drive standard and all-wheel drive optional. Fuel economy is modest, around 17 to 22 miles per gallon, but the trade-off is performance that still feels strong today. Inside, the cabin is a mix of early 2000s Infiniti luxury leather, tech features that were ahead of their time, and driver-focused layout that makes it feel less like a family hauler and more like a personal grand tourer. Yes, some of the infotainment systems look dated now, but the overall build quality aged well, and the seats remain supportive even on long drives. The best years to look for are between 2006 and 2012, when Infiniti had worked out early quirks and refined the design. Today, you can scoop up a well-kept FX35 for anywhere between $6,000 and $10,000. For a luxury SUV with a sports car soul and a mechanic-approved powertrain, that's a serious bargain. Before we jump to the next SUV, quick reminder, if you're watching this on TV, grab your phone right now, hit that subscribe button, and drop a comment telling us which city you're tuning in from. But don't get too comfortable because the next SUV on this list flips the script completely. It's the one mechanics love for its quiet strength, blending old-school luxury with the kind of reliability you almost never see anymore. Lincoln Town Car-based Navigator 1998 to 2006. Now here's a curveball. Everyone expects to see European badges when the word luxury SUV comes up, but mechanics often smile when you bring up the early Lincoln Navigator. Why? Because underneath all that chrome and leather, it's basically a beefed-up town car on stilts. And that's a good thing. It means the Navigator shares its DNA with one of the most dependable American luxury sedans ever built, a car known for surviving abuse from taxi fleets and limousine services across the country. The heart of these first and second generation Navigators is the Ford modular V8 engine, specifically the 5.4-liter Triton. Now, here's the trick. Mechanics know this motor can easily clear 250,000 miles if you stay on top of coil packs and spark plugs. Yes, the early ones had issues with spark plug threads stripping, but once properly repaired, it's almost a set it and forget it powertrain. Transmissions are simple 4-speed automatics that don't shift fancy, but they're sturdy, serviceable, and cheap to rebuild compared to the complex units in European rivals. On the road, the Navigator isn't trying to be sporty, it's a smooth cruiser with a heavy, commanding presence. Horsepower sits in the 260 to 300 range depending on the year, with torque that makes towing boats or trailers effortless. Fuel economy is predictably thirsty, averaging 12 to 16 miles per gallon, but owners accept that trade-off for the sheer comfort and longevity. Step inside, and you're greeted with big American luxury wide leather seats, wood trim, and a ride that glides over potholes like they're not even there. It doesn't have the precision of a German SUV, but that's not the point. This is about durability and comfort in equal measure. Many mechanics joke that the Navigator is basically a luxury couch with a steering wheel, and they mean it as a compliment. The sweet spot lies in models built between 1998 and 2006. These years avoided some of the electronic bloat of later SUVs, while keeping enough modern amenities to feel upscale. On the used market today, you'll see them anywhere from $5,000 to $9,000, and if you find one that's been maintained, it's likely to keep rolling for decades. And next up, we're shifting gears to a luxury SUV that doesn't wear an American badge, but has a reputation so strong that even mechanics who swear by domestic brands secretly admire it. Volvo XC 2007 to 2014. Pre-facelift. Second generation, not included. This one might surprise you. The Volvo XC90 isn't usually the first name people throw around when talking about timeless luxury SUVs. But among mechanics, the first generation, especially the later years, has earned a quiet respect. Why? Because Volvo struck a rare balance. European comfort and safety without the constant headaches that plague so many of its German competitors. The secret sauce here is the 3.2-liter inline-6 engine developed with Yamaha. It may not be a speed demon, but it's a smooth, reliable motor that can go the distance if serviced regularly. Mechanics often point out the importance of keeping an eye on the PCV system and cooling components, but those are manageable issues compared to the chronic electrical gremlins you'll find in other luxury SUVs of the same era. Transmission-wise, the 6-speed automatic is sturdy as long as fluid changes aren't ignored, something far too many owners overlook. Spot hesitation between gears during a test drive, and you'll know whether it's been cared for or neglected. Behind the wheel, the XC90 isn't about thrills. It's about calm, confident driving. Horsepower sits in the mid-200s, and fuel economy hovers around 16 to 20 miles per gallon. Not impressive, but Volvo drivers weren't chasing efficiency, they wanted safety and comfort. And in that department, the XC90 delivers in spades. Inside, the cabin feels like a Scandinavian living room on wheels. Supportive leather seats, simple but elegant design, and one of the most practical third rows in its class. This SUV was designed with families in mind, yet it still carried enough luxury to satisfy buyers stepping away from more expensive brands. Even a decade later, the interior feels refined, not dated. The sweet spot runs between 2007 and 2014 before the redesign. These years benefited from updates that ironed out earlier reliability issues. On today's used market, expect prices between $6,000 and $11,000 for well-kept examples. For that money, you're getting a safe, luxurious, and mechanic-approved SUV that doesn't break the bank. But the next one flips the playbook again, an SUV with a badge so powerful, most people assume it's fragile, yet mechanics know in the right trim and engine, it's one of the toughest luxury trucks ever built. Toyota Land Cruiser 200 Series 2008 to 2021. Here's the thing. When mechanics get together and talk about SUVs they'd bet their own money on, the Toyota Land Cruiser always comes up. And not just as a reliable truck, it's considered practically unbreakable. While the badge screams luxury in North America, in many parts of the world, this same SUV is used as an ambulance, a military vehicle, or a desert crossing workhorse. That dual identity luxury for the suburbs, durability for the harshest places on Earth, is what makes the Land Cruiser legendary among those who turn wrenches for a living. The 200 series, launched in 2008, carried the 5.7-liter V8 paired with a 6-speed automatic. This engine is the definition of overbuilt. Mechanics rarely see them fail, even after 300,000 miles, as long as oil changes and timing belt intervals are respected. The transmission? Heavy-duty, smooth, and known for shrugging off towing and off-road abuse. Common issues are almost laughable compared to other luxury SUVs, cracked exhaust manifolds, worn suspension bushings, and the occasional leaky radiator. That's about it. For a vehicle this size and weight, that level of reliability is almost unheard of. On the road, the Land Cruiser isn't fast, but it's unstoppable. 400 horsepower and over 400 pounds of torque mean it can pull trailers, climb mountains, or cruise on the interstate without breaking a sweat. Fuel economy is the Achilles heel, think 12 to 15 miles per gallon combined, but most owners accept it as the price of invincibility. Inside, the Land Cruiser balances ruggedness with refinement. Leather seats, wood trim, and Toyota's straightforward tech make it feel upscale without being fragile. Everything is designed to last. Buttons, switches, and even the seat mechanisms are known for surviving decades of use. Third-row seating adds flexibility, and ride comfort is shockingly smooth for a truck built on a body-on-frame platform. The best years sit anywhere between 2008 and 2015, when the model was still relatively simple compared to the tech-heavy later versions. Prices today aren't cheap. Expect $30,000 to $50,000 for clean examples, but that's because owners know they'll hold value for decades. This is one of the few luxury SUVs mechanics would actually call an heirloom vehicle, something you can hand down rather than trade in. And there you have it, 6 luxury SUVs that mechanics secretly drive and almost never replace. If you've been looking for a blend of timeless comfort and bulletproof reliability, these are the models that prove you don't always need to follow the crowd to find true luxury. Now, grab your phone, hit that subscribe button, and tell us in the comments which city you're watching from. We love seeing how far this community reaches. And don't stop here. If you enjoyed this list, check out our other videos on the most reliable sedans and the hidden gems in the SUV world. Trust me, you'll want to see what's next.